Mexican Ninja is one of those games that you can't really look at and not wonder what the developers were thinking. You have ninjas, Mexican culture, cyberpunk city streets, swords, guns, blood, and a whole lot of chaos all mixed together. After spending time playing through Mexican Ninja, I could say that the game does a great job of being different. The combat is fast, the visual style really stands out, and there's a lot of personality here. But at the same time, there are some balance and combat issues that keep it from reaching its full potential. So the big question is, does Mexican Ninja have enough style and fun combat to make this go crazy with a mix of work? Or does all that chaos end up getting in the way? Let's talk about it. Mexican Ninja takes place in Nuevo Tokyo, a crazy world that mixes Mexican and Japanese culture to create something that feels completely over the top. The city is controlled by the Narcos, a powerful criminal group created after the Yakuza and Mexican cartels joined forces. They have taken control of Nuevo Tokyo, and they're not exactly running the city with kindness. You play as a Mexican ninja, a rebel fighter who sets out to take on this criminal empire. Your goal is to fight your way through the city, take down the people in charge, and give the rebels a chance to take their home back. What I like about the story is that it doesn't take itself too seriously. Everything is loud, crazy, and over the top. And that really fits the game. The mix of Mexican and Japanese influences also makes Nuevo Tokyo a pretty unique setting. Without getting into spoilers, the story is really there to give you a reason to keep moving forward and see what crazy character or location you're going to run into next. Overall, the story isn't the main reason you'll be playing Mexican Ninja, but it does a good job of setting up the world and giving the action a purpose. When it comes to the presentation, Mexican Ninja has a very unique style. The game uses a 2.5D look that combines retro arcade style design with modern 3D effects. Nuevo Tokyo is filled with neon lights, colorful backgrounds, cyberpunk detail, and plenty of blood and gore. I really like how the game mixes its Mexican and Japanese influences. You'll see elements from both cultures throughout the world, and the developers don't hold back when it comes to making everything look crazy and stylish. On Xbox Series X, the game targets 60 frames per second, and that's important because the combat can get pretty busy. When you have multiple enemies attacking you at once, you need your movement, dodges, and attacks to feel quick and responsive. The sound design also fits the game really well. The music mixes Mexican-inspired sounds with electric beats and cyberpunk-style synths. It's a strange combination on paper, but it works with the game's personality. The combat sounds also have a good amount of impact. You can hear the difference between your katana attacks, parries, dodges, and special moves, which makes the combat feel more satisfying. The character dialogue also adds to the experience. There's a lot of trash talk, attitude, and over-the-top lines that fits the Mexican Ninja's personality. Overall, the presentation is one of the game's strongest features. The colorful visuals, neon world, music, sound effects, and crazy character design all works together to give Mexican Ninja its own personality. Now let's talk about the gameplay, because this is where Mexican Ninja really shines. This is a fast-paced 2.5D action game where you'll be running through levels, fighting groups of enemies, dodging attacks, and trying to keep your combos going. The combat is built around quick attacks and movement. You can slice through enemies with your katana, dodge attacks, and use special moves, and combine different attacks to take out multiple enemies at once. The game also uses a roguelike system, which means each run can give you different upgrades and items to make your character stronger. I like this system because it gives you a reason to experiment with different builds and see what combinations work best for your playstyle. One of the more interesting features is the Mexican Justice. These are special moves that fit the game's Mexican and Japanese theme and give you some really fun ways to deal with groups of enemies. You can also get spirit powers that give you different bonuses during your runs. As you progress, El Mero Sensei also helps you unlock and improve your ninja abilities. There's even custom clothing and cosmetic items that you can find and use to change your character's look. After playing through the game, I think the combat is at its best where you're moving fast, chaining attacks together, and trying to handle multiple enemies without getting surrounded. Overall, the gameplay is fast, simple to pick up, and fun to play. The roguelike system also gives the game some extra replay value because you can try different upgrades and builds. Now, Mexican Ninja does have some problems, and the biggest one to me is the balance. Some enemies can take away a lot of your health very quickly, even early in the game. That doesn't always feel fair, especially when you're still learning how the combat and dodge systems work. The enemy balance can also feel a little all over the place. Some enemies are easy to deal with, but then you run into others that can create a big difficulty spike that can make some parts of the game feel more frustrating than challenging. I also think the heavy attacks could use some more work. Your normal attacks feel quick and aggressive, but the attacks when on the heavy side feels more slower. When the rest of the combat is moving so fast, that difference can make the heavy attacks feel a little out of place. The dash and dodge system also takes some time to get used to. You have to pay attention to the timing and cooldowns, and if you're used to other fast attacks in fast action games, you may need a little time to adjust. I would also have liked to see more options for difficulty. Having different settings would help new players get used to the combat, while also giving more experienced players a bigger challenge. None of these issues ruin the game, but they do show that the combat and balance could use some more polish. After spending time with Mexican Ninja, I think this is a fun and unique action game that does a good job of standing out. The mix of Mexican and Japanese culture, cyberpunk visuals, fast combat, and roguelike elements gives the game a lot of personality. I also like that the game doesn't take itself too seriously and just lets you have fun with the crazy world it's created. The combat is fast and satisfying when everything comes together, and the different upgrades and special abilities give you reasons to keep experimenting. The biggest problem is the balance. Some enemies hit too hard, the difficulty can spike, and a few of the combat controls could feel better. But even with those issues, I still had a good time playing Mexican Ninja, and I think fans of fast-paced 2.5D action games will find something to enjoy here. For that, I give Mexican Ninja a 4 out of 5. Thank you for tuning into the best place for independent gaming journalism, and that's the Gamer Section. Be sure to hit the like button on the video, share the review, and please subscribe to the channel for more reviews, news, unboxings, and gaming content. This is Kano from the Gamer Section, and I'll catch you guys in the next review.